welcome. Welcome to Talk It Out with Gilbert and Miller. We're back.
Yeah.
To be back. We took a
Mhm.
little hiatus. How many know that when you are in this work, you are dealing with a lot of stress and social PTSD. And so we needed a break. But we are back, and we're glad that you have come back with us.
Mhm.
Today is a great day. Our show theme is Beyond the Headlines, the truth they missed. I'll say it again. Beyond the headline, the truths they missed. And today we're going to talk about a few things that I hope will uh, perk your interest and that
Mhm.
you'll spend the next hour with us. We are talking about the Epstein files. Hey, we couldn't have a show without bringing up the files. We're talking about the White House, as always. There's always something happening that's affecting us coming out of the White House in
Mhm.
this time with President Donald Trump. We're talking about the elections coming up, voting policies. Uh, there are very important elections coming up this year, locally, regionally, and you need to be involved. And then finally, we are in February. And what's February? Black History Month. And so
Mhm.
we don't want to go um, a show without talking about some Black history. So we're going to jump right in it. As always, we want you to be with us. So when we send out the links, there's is a QR code that
Mhm.
you should use, and you can be live with us. If
Mhm.
you go to the QR code, you can see this show live. You can uh, type in in the chat any questions or comments that you
Mhm.
have, and we will be ready to talk it out with you. So this is a show that happens every Monday, and we want you to be a part of it. Let's jump right into it. Miller, do you have anything for us?
Well, just like you, I'm so excited that we are back. Yeah, we are back. We've been doing so many things. You've been so very busy with social justice and getting things done. And so just really just seeing how God is moving and the things that he's doing to move you forward in that. What a blessing. Not just to the church, but to our community that God is using you in that way. We have so many things to talk about. It's like, how do people say yes? You know, I learned this from the teenagers. Yes, we are
They
going
say
to talk
clock
about
it.
it. I was like, is that what it is? It's
They say
clocking.
clock it when
Oh,
they do
I was like,
that.
what is that? But I said, yes. I saw the girl do it on Instagram. I said, oh, I'm going to use that. So on tonight, we are really going to talk about it. Some of the things that we received as far as feedback, you wanted to know where our sources, where we got our information. So we want to make sure that you know the information that we're sharing with you on tonight, along with we're going to talk about things that we know as well, but it comes from Reuters, from whitehouse.gov, from congress.gov, from the United Nations Human Rights Office, the U.S. Census Bureau, and it comes from Vote Beat of the Brenham Center. And so we just want to make sure that you know that we're not just throwing something out here. We're not just talking and saying crazy things. We have information and sources that have been verified, and we're sharing that information with you. So, hey, let's just get right into it. What did they think about our jingle when we came on? Listen here,
Oh
we
yeah,
are
yeah, yeah.
moving up. I said, all right, now we got a jingle now. So
That's
tonight we're
right.
talking about the Epstein files and the development with them, the recent White House executive actions, federal voting registration, it's Black History, and it's my birthday month. So this is like the best month in the history of the world every year.
And
And
what
we
day is
just,
that on?
the last day, the 28th.
All right, all
So
right.
we are just excited about that. So Epstein files, let's start with those. There have been large documents released connected to the DOJ. Millions of documents have reportedly been released under what's being described, Gilbert, as a transparency, if I can talk today, framework. But here's where it gets complicated. There are debates about, oh, victims' privacy and what accountability should really look like. The United Nations human rights expert have publicly said that this disclosure includes disturbing evidence of serious abuse. That's very serious. But they've also warned that flaws in the release could undermine accountability and even harm victims. Now, The Guardian reports that Representative Jamie Raskin raised concerns about problematic potential exposure of victims' identity and their information. And so Reuters is reporting that the ripple effect have even reached international investigation, including actively in France, because there all kind of nations are being connected back to this because we had all kind of leaders and different things involved in this. So let's say this clearly, oh my goodness, is a document that we've never saw before with the type of wrongdoing that is stating that has been done. It has references, it has contacts, it even has evidence, if you really want to look at it the way it's supposed to be seen, criminal liability. We are not speculating. I want you to know the stuff that we're saying is verified. So let me get you to jump in on this conversation right now, Gilbert. What do you think about them saying it has to be transparent and accountability and what's being done throughout our government in reference to the Epstein files?
Well, number one, I think that the victims should have the choice of being their names being protected. But that's a clear conversation with the victims, right?
Mhm.
Hey, we can redact your name from the file, or we can use your name.
Mhm.
What would you like? Give them a choice. So that's number one. Don't speak for the victim. Let the victim make the decision. That's an easy answer to that. They should be protected in every way possible. Second issue is what do you have to hide? Grandma told me birds of a feather they flock together, and so
Well,
uh, there's no reason for, I believe, for someone to be hanging with a pedophile.
mhm,
There's no reason for someone to be going to a pedophile island or whatever. Uh,
mhm,
and so the folks that are on this on in these files should not be protected. But there's a bigger issue that I don't know if the country or the world is looking at,
mhm,
or at least what is being reported on the news. The issue that they are focusing on, and they should be focused on, is the act of
mhm,
pedophilia, the act of sex trafficking. They have even talked about in some media sources
mhm,
the murder of children and the desecration of their bodies. And
mhm,
I do believe that all of that we need to have focus on. But the bigger picture of this is that somebody may be holding the strings, the puppet strings,
mhm,
to get information on all of the powerful people of our world, and to get them in compromising positions,
mhm,
to get them to send compromising emails, to get them to be in compromising photos and videos so that they can be controlled. And then we wonder um,
Mhm.
why a politician may vote against his own interests, why a president may ignore certain things. It might be because of this puppet master that has all of this information. Now here is the contrast, comparison when it was a black man called Sean P. Diddy Puff Daddy Combs
Mm.
opened up the files. There were no redactions. They didn't protect the victims. Uh, they made it a circus for the world to see. But now there is some implications of,
Mhm.
of of other folks who are not people of color, and we see the protection for them. And so what we really see, and I'll turn it back over to you,
Mhm.
is that you can't expect the dog to catch itself. You need a dog catcher. And
Yeah.
we at this time in our country, our government doesn't have a dog catcher.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think the whole thing is just a real sad. This is a sad time in the history of our country, not just for our community, but if in our country, because the information that's coming out, it has some high level, those that are in government. It has stars and celebrities. It has leaders from around the world. And, when the Department of Justice, under the Epstein Files Transparency Act, when they released it, I don't even know if they understood the gratitude, not the gratitude, but the many, many areas that it would reach, and the different things, areas that it would touch upon in the world, not just here in America, because I think it was released with a point of, let's steer this conversation towards a particular person. But what it did was it included that particular person, but it also included several other people that we never would have thought about
Yeah,
would have been involved in something like this. And so for me, it has been really, really mind blowing to really, oh my goodness, witness this, to see the people that are involved, to see how slow we are in saying, hey, let's investigate this. Even the way that our lawmakers and our they were able to view it. They couldn't go in. It was almost like a hush hush thing. We're going to take you in a room. We're going to show you all these thousands of files and pictures and photos, and you
for
better
only
blink.
1 hour.
Yeah, for
One
1 hour. And you better remember everything that you've seen. And then you go out and then you try to come up with, hey, what can we do? No, if we're going to be transparent, let's totally be transparent. Let's release it to everyone, just like we do when they release files that have been the CIA, FBI, when they release files from many years ago that deal with other important areas in our government. They scratch out the stuff that they
right.
don't want you to see. They black it out, and so you can't see. They can. I'm one. I agree with take out the names.
Yeah.
If you can't reveal all of the photos because they are minors, then don't reveal the photos of the minors. Reach out to their families and talk to them, because the child had to have a family. Somebody's been missing that child, looking for that child. Something about that
Listen,
child.
when it was R. Kelly, he
Mm-hmm.
didn't care about
Oh,
any redactions,
yeah.
right? I'm bringing up this, not giving Puff Daddy a pass, not giving R. Kelly a pass, but I'm reminding
Mm-hmm.
people how this stuff is playing out, and we soon forget that there was a circus around R. Kelly, a circus around Puff Daddy, but now there's protection around these white rich men. And let's be clear. Um, when we talked about uh, Illuminati
Mm-hmm.
and a cabal years ago, folks didn't want to hear it. Gilbert must be crazy. Oh, you can't talk like that. But this is what we are presently seeing, and all of those ideas that though the conversation was crazy are now out the window.
Well, here's the thing. Uh, we as a people, we have always lived in this unequal kind of justice system. And so this is just really making it, in my opinion, worse. Because whenever you have a system where it's selective or it's unclear, then the trust of the people, it begins to erode and go away. And we're saying as a people, okay, you said what they did was so horrible. You can't believe that, this person did that. Well, we're looking at some things here that really look even past, what could really be accepted by anyone in the free world, that would be okay with some of these things that have taken place. And I just feel that it's an atrocity, and that we are just really, they're trying to hoodwink us. How they say? They're trying to hoodwink us.
Yeah,
That's what they're trying to do.
it's a situation where I believe, and this is just my belief, that it's been right before our eyes,
Mm-hmm.
but people don't want to believe it. We have children, black children, white children, who come up missing, and we don't believe what is happening.
Mm-hmm.
When our young ladies are going to these islands, um, they a lot of times they are coming up missing.
Mm-hmm.
We just think it's a rapist or it's a pedophile, pedophilia, but it possibly could be a whole machine
Mm-hmm.
of of evildoers, of satanic worshipers, of
Mm-hmm.
those who are involved in this, and you wonder, and I'm going to end it here. We can move
Mm-hmm.
on, but you wonder how some people become stars,
Mm-hmm.
some people become rich, some people get on a platform, um, and you don't know the price that they have paid, and so we have to teach our children
Mm-hmm.
to be true to self.
It's true to self. I agree.
We have to teach them that all money, I'm from the hood of DC. All money ain't good money, right?
I
You
agree.
have to teach people, our children, to have character, and what I would say as a preacher, to have the Holy Ghost. And
Mm-hmm.
if you stay connected to God, He'll tell you what you need to do, and when it's time to get out. Um, the the there is a lot of famous people who said, I had my start in the church, or I
Mm-hmm.
come out of the church. And my question is, why did you come out, right? For that almighty dollar. Um,
Mm-hmm.
so we're going to ask you that if you would like to comment on this, or if you have questions
Mm-hmm.
on this, put it in the chat. And even if you're not live today, if you put it in the chat, we can get back to you.
Thank you.
We would love to hear your thoughts on the craziness that's happening right now with
I
that
agree.
scene.
I agree with you. Before we move to the next point, I really thought back to a young lady that I met maybe now like 10 years ago,
Mm-hmm.
right here from Washington, D.C. And I'll just use the initials SB to protect her identity. She was actually in the sex
That's
trade.
not Sandra Bullock.
No, not Sandra Bullock. No,
Okay,
for
good.
for 15 years. Someone right from here. She went, on a trip, and someone took her, and she did. But what she didn't realize is they took her when she was away, but they actually brought her back to the States. But she didn't even realize she was back in the States for 15 years. They
Wow.
kept her drugged up. They moved her around. They even had her in the community where she lived in this area. She's from here. And she didn't even realize that she was in Washington, D.C. And just one day, she said the people that had held her captive, they began to trust her. And so they let her go out. And so what she did was she said she let a month or two go by, even though she wanted to run, she didn't run, where they could trust her. And she started going to the store. They let her get the food for the other people and all of that. She said, and then that one day she said, I'm finna run. And she said she ran, and she said she was just in the streets hollering, help, help, help.
Lord have
And
mercy.
that's how she got free. But from the age of 18 to 15 years later, she was in the sex trade, and that was mind blowing to me. Somebody right from here. I was at a women's event at the library there in Bowie, and I could not. That just kind of blew my mind. And so my daughter now, she's talking about, oh, when I get through with my tests and things, I'm going to go out the country. And I said,
Right.
you have to be careful
Yeah.
with that, sweetie. I said, I know you're grown. I can't tell you what to do. I said, but these people out here taking people, and they have no problem using you for their purpose. And so I just said that to say we need to be careful.
If you can, I don't know if you know her
Mhm.
personally, but let's see if we can get her on the show.
Okay, I'll see if we can. I'll reach out to her
Yeah.
and see if I can get her on the show, because that was a mind blowing story. To
Yeah.
me, it was something that I just really couldn't believe had happened to a person that was right from where we are, not someone from somewhere else. He was right from here, and
Yeah.
all those years went by. And she said the sad thing is the our police officers and all those things, and they looked for a little while, and then it just
And
went
I
to a
gave
cold
up.
case.
And
They gave up, and nobody continued to look for her. So yeah, we can move on from there. But I just thought, oh my goodness, how sad that was. Yeah. So now White House actions. That's where we're moving to now. According to WhiteHouse.gov, there have been executive orders posted in early February 2026, including actions related to national defense, arms transfer strategy, and energy infrastructure tied to national security. There's also a National Black History Month proclamation dated February the 3rd, 2026, affirming that Black history is integral to American history. Now, let's slow it down. An executive order, we know, is not legislation passed by Congress. It's direct federal agencies on how to operate under existing law. That distinction matters. Why? Well, we'll talk about it in a second here, because our history is not something that should be able to be dispensable. It's indispensable, because you and I, we know we're Black every single day. And so it's not a thing about a signing a paper or an order or whatever, but we're not where we're dispensable. We're indispensable as a race of people. Gilbert, what are your thoughts on all of this? I think the most important thing while we're talking tonight is the Black History Month thing, and we can talk about the other things as well, whichever way you like to do it.
well, is it safe to say, or is it okay for me to say that our president and his cabinet are racist yet? Um,
Go right ahead and say it.
yeah. Let's start with the 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 Truth Social tweet or whatever it's called now, of the Obamas as apes.
Mm-hmm.
Um, Anytime you get the the black politician from Oklahoma to say that
Hello.
was, that was the racist thing he's ever seen in the White House, uh, there's no argument now that Trump and his crew are racist. I mean,
Yes.
we've been saying it, but to go back to the 30s, to go back to the 20s,
Mm-hmm.
where they white folk showed blacks as apes is is where his mind is,
Yes.
right? And he did it in the middle of the night. Why is Obama, President Obama, and First Lady
Mhm.
Obama on your mind
Hello.
while you in the bed with your wife
Hmm. I
or
agree.
whatever? I mean, why is are you still upset that they beat you?
Hmm.
Are
Yeah.
you can't handle losing? And so when we're talking about the White House, I'm using that reference as framework to this conversation. I'm framing it.
Hmm.
The other thing that we notice, I don't know if you know this, I didn't tell you about this, is
Hmm.
that he has taken all, and you would appreciate this being a
Hmm.
military person. He's taken all the honors off of Colin Powell, General
Hmm.
Colin Powell, in the grave site, the
Hmm.
National Graveyard. He's taken all of the honors off of all of the black men and women who had honors in the grave site. He's taken all of the honors away from all of the women who served in the gravesite. So
Hmm.
the only people who have honors now at the National Graveyard is white men.
And I'm not surprised.
This is the framework, this is the framing of our White House and his cabinet. I said Sunday to the church, you mean to tell me you couldn't find but one black person to serve as a director of an agency, and the one that you have at HUD, he wasn't qualified?
Mm.
So when we're talking about his executive orders and establishing
Mhm.
these trying to establish these laws, we see that it's all framed around racism.
Yeah, it's 100% racism, and the thing that gets you is that he has no. I don't know. He doesn't really have any cut cards when it comes down to who he hurts, who he offends, how it affects our country, how we look to the world, what our history looks like as a nation. He isn't just taking away, he feels that he's taking away from African Americans, Black people. But you're not just taking away from Black people, you're taking away from our history. These were some of our leaders that you're trying to, and heroes that you're trying to take away from. And it's a really, really sad commentary. As a veteran myself, I find it as an insult to do that to anyone that has served. It takes a lot to serve, and especially for those that have gone to war, those that gave the ultimate sacrifice of their life for this country. That's just like a major insult. And I really feel that things should be stated and said from more than just us. It should be stated from those that's serving in Congress and all of those things.
Yeah, we gotta also understand that this big beautiful bill that they call is coming. It's getting ready to the implementation is getting ready to start. So we're talking about food disparity, where we're talking about the SNAP programs,
Mm-hmm.
and what SNAP programs. What we know, us old school folks, that's welfare. That's
Mm-hmm.
food stamps. The food stamps are getting ready to be cut out. Um,
Yes.
Programs that had DEI in them, diversity, equity, and inclusion in them, are getting ready to be cut. Those programs that helped our communities, they are getting ready, and all of this is from the White House, from and his partners, the the new Klan. They are getting ready to cut out housing programs, right? hood is under attack. And so um, now let me say, yes, it's time
Mm-hmm.
for our folk to get a job. It's time for folk to get to work. But you got to understand there's disparities that's happening in education in poor neighborhoods versus well-to-do neighborhoods. There are disparities that's happening. Listen, in our communities, folks are growing up with asbestos in the walls. Why do I bring that up? Asbestos deals with your mind.
Mm-hmm.
You wonder why a child is misbehaving. It may be that the asbestos
Mm-hmm.
has affected their mind. This is not uh, something I'm making up. Google the effects of asbestos
Mm-hmm.
to a child's mind, and so there are things like that. Our education system has failed us. Um,
Mm-hmm.
we're the first hired, and I mean the last hired and the first fired, and
Yes.
so it's not just like cutting on a light switch and we'll get off welfare. Cut on a light switch, and we'll change the unemployment rate. But yes, we do have to do better. Take that rag off your head
Mm-hmm.
in the grocery store, the bonnet off your head in the grocery store. Uh, put on some clothes and not pajamas outside. Put on some tennis shoes or some dress shoes and not wear your slippers. Yes, I believe that. But the things that are happening outside of out of the White House, out of Congress, out of Senate, and even yes, sometimes the courts, it is slanted against the black and brown community.
Yes, 100%. Here's the thing. I think we're at a place now in history with the DEI being removed where we will not have true representation of who we are as a people. I don't think it's just a thing for right now that's trying to be done. It's a thing where our total history is taken away, where things are made to be like, oh, that happened, but it happened to other people too. Have you heard that? To other people as well. And so it's not as bad as what they're saying it is. They just need to make changes in their culture and they'll be able to adjust because it's unfair to us. Okay, that they're getting to get grants or scholarships or funding. We need that same funding. It's mind blowing to us to even hear the type of talk and conversations and the narrative that's out there. Because here's the thing, we've never received fair treatment.
Right.
It's different when you've received fair treatment and then we're saying, hey, we've given you this treatment for so long. Now we have to go back and say, everybody gets this treatment. Well, no, we never received it. So you can't say that we're on an equal playing ground if we've never been on the same field at the same level. It doesn't happen. Our children, those that are in the communities that are poor, how can we say to them that you guys are on the same playing field as the people that live across town? No, you're not on the same playing field. And I owe it to you to make sure that you have equal rights, that you're equally treated just like the people that live up here and you're down here, maybe for now, that you're brought up to the same level. Those are some of the principles of which America was founded on, that it's
Yeah.
equal to all people. They've never done it, but that's what we were founded on.
We talked about yesterday in our Sunday school time the worship of whiteness uh,
Mm-hmm.
and how um, the country has preferred to put a flag over the cross, put the American flag over the cross. and normalize that in our country. And so um, what we see is a a thought process that cares nothing about those outside of the margins. We're going to talk a little bit about the elections.
Okay.
Um, but when you listen to the elections, you don't hear anything about the poor. You hear a plan for the middle class, but you don't hear a plan for the poor.
Yeah.
And what we are seeing out of the White House, what we're seeing out of Congress and out of the Senate is a clan of men who don't care about African Americans. They don't care about
Mhm.
poor. And and I'm saying a clan because they have clan ideas. Um, they are now trying to take over two countries. All right.
Wow.
In our day, they're saying we're going to take Greenland. We're just going to take. We already then took the president out.
Mm-hmm.
So the next step is to force them to do what we tell them to do. And I believe that what they are planning for Greenland, and this is just my belief,
Mm-hmm.
is that it will be a place for the million and billionaires to live. It'll
Wow.
be a place where if we have another health scare, that they will be able to be televaxed to
Mm-hmm.
live. It will be a place of isolation,
Mm-hmm.
right? Because they don't care about the least, the lost, and the left out.
None at all.
And
That's
so our what's going to happen to our community is that they're going to come to the churches for to be rescued.
mm-hmm.
I said yesterday that Jesus didn't visit the people of that no one wanted to deal with. He didn't visit those outside the margins. Guess what? He started ministry
Yes.
those people. He started ministry outside the margins. He stayed outside the margins. And so we as the black church are going to have to prepare to get prepared to be able to be a resource. And guess
Mm-hmm.
what? They may not be Christians. They may not come to church on
Mhm.
Sundays.
I agree.
But wherever there are hurting people,
Mm-hmm.
the church needs to be there.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. I think all of this is just a sad commentary. It's like we're in the wild west, and there doesn't seem to be any problem about it. People are okay with it just being that way. And like you said, I see it as a money grab. Um, the way the whole system is set up right now, everything that they're doing is so the richer can get richer and the poor can get poorer. I think eventually the way it's set up, it won't be a middle class. You'll either be rich or you'll be poor.
That's
And,
right.
and that's what it's leading towards. It's not leading towards, oh, so those of us that are middle class that feel like, hey, we're safe and we're snug, how do they snug in the rug? No, we're not snug in the rug because I was talking with Pastor Troy and I told him, I said, eventually we're going to see more families where everyone's living together, multi-generational, where people are in the house together, because with the way that technology is, look at the people that are leading the technology. Those are the rich people. They have the technology and they're leading and they're doing things. I mean, think about that.
Yes.
Then look at it and think about the amount of money that's been made right in the White House. He does a coin, and all of a sudden, okay, that coin takes off and it makes millions. He does a
Right.
coin for his wife and it makes millions. Something about that should be illegal. When was it that usually they say, oh no, you can't do any more what than $25 or something that you
That's
can
right.
give to gifts to
Ethics.
them. Those,
It was
yeah.
a ethics board
Well, that boy went out of town and took a break
Now,
because go ahead.
now, folks are hearing this, and I'll say this: you
Mm-hmm.
can't justify bombing babies.
Mm-hmm. No.
You can't justify uh, bombing hospitals.
Mm.
You can't justify bombing schools, right? And the same people who will say that ICE needs to leave will not say what's happening to the Muslims
Mm-hmm.
in Israel should need to stop.
Yeah.
It's you can't be right over here and wrong over there.
Mm-hmm.
But this is the twisted world. Now we've talked about the problems.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times when we talk about the problems, folks, the next thing they're saying is, well, what are we gonna do?
Mm-hmm.
What's the plan? Well, the first plan we need to talk about is voting.
Yes.
Civic engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Miller, a lot of times I'm at rallies, I'm at protests, and I don't see black folk out there. I don't see the church out there.
Wow.
I see, I'm just being honest.
Mm-hmm. Real talk.
A lot of white folk out there, a lot of liberals,
Mm-hmm.
but where is the black church?
Mm-hmm.
Right? And anybody that knows me, no, I'm gonna keep it straight. And that's not to say that we don't show up ever.
Mm-hmm.
But what I am saying is that we can show up more.
More.
What I am saying, it's not just the preacher's job to show up. What I am saying
Mm-hmm.
is that you don't have a retirement plan in Christianity and discipleship. Ain't no
True.
retirement plan. The
No.
Bible says, be faithful unto death. Not
Mm-hmm.
until death, unto death. I mean, we got to die
Mm-hmm.
every day, right?
Every.
And so, um, where is our fight?
Mm.
Now, if a child gets shot by the police, something like that, we are responding. We're hitting the streets. But this is not going to be a fight or a win that is just going to take one time. Joshua fought the battle of Jericho.
Mm.
Walls did come tumbling down.
Yeah.
But we got to understand he marched 7 days. The people marched around the wall 7 days, one time. And then on the seventh day, they marched 7 times
Mm-hmm.
around the wall. And on the seventh time around, they shouted. And then the walls came tumbling down. We have to be engaged. We got what we can. So let's talk about what we can do.
Mm-hmm.
You can take an hour out of
Mm-hmm.
your evening and make calls for a cause.
True.
Calls for a cause. So if you want a bill passed, if you want somebody elected, if you want to get voter registered, you can take an hour out of the day,
Mm-hmm.
out of the week, just 1 hour out of the week. For a good 2 3 months, 1 hour out the week, and make calls for calls. Second thing you can do is you can show up.
Mm-hmm.
There's always something happening, something to get involved, some good trouble to get in. You can show up. Now I know that ain't everybody's thing, right? Some people are not there, but you can show up. Third thing you can do is you can send some money to some
Mm-hmm.
organization.
Yes, you can.
You the cause always need money.
Always.
and $100 will go a long way. $50
Mhm.
will go a long way. One day, I decided I was just going, and I know I'm talking a long time, but just
Well, go ahead. We're
let me
listening. Go ahead. We need
let
to know.
me that I sent out mass messages to family and friends and colleagues to just send $10 and
Mm-hmm.
to my organization, the Center for Racial Equity and Justice, and some, of course, sent more, much more, but $10 from 500 people is
Yeah.
it's so it worked.
Mm-hmm.
Gave us some resources that we could do more work. And
Mm-hmm.
so and then I'll say the last thing is we got to get folks to vote. We got and not just um in the states that we know we're going to win, like DC is a state, is a democratic state, right? but
Mm-hmm.
but we need to work to make sure Virginia is getting the right people in office. Make sure Maryland is getting the right people in office. This is just the region where we live, but we have to be strategic
Mm-hmm.
in where we're putting our time and our effort, um, and see where best our efforts can be used. So there are a lot of things that we can do. I just gave you five,
Mm-hmm.
um, and so don't just sit and say, you know, it is what it is, because it don't have to be what it is.
No, it doesn't have to be. And then if we really, really just think about what you're saying, when Trump was in office the first time, he had a plan. They stacked the courts. Okay.
Right,
At the time,
right.
we didn't think anything about it as they were appointing all these judges and all around the country, because they didn't do it in one place. They did it all around the country. And so now that he's in office again, then he has those that are loyal to him. And so they may not say, yeah, we're going to do that, but they're tying it up in court and they're making all these motions and they're doing this and that and moving it where nothing is being changed. So when he does these things, they're staying that way. But the difference, like you said, is in us getting out there and voting. I want you to understand your vote matters. Yes,
Yeah.
that one vote, it matters, because a lot of ones, it equals to a powerful movement. And I think that we have become so used to people saying, well, it's not going to matter if I go out there, that we just won't go out there and do it. But the time is now. It's
And
time for us to get out there.
let me just add to that. Let's just say President Trump wins the election, that won the election, but the Democrats would have won the Congress, the Senate.
Mm-hmm.
Then the things that Trump was trying to implement would not have passed. And so
Mm-hmm.
we have to understand that we just don't vote for a president. We vote for our state representation and our local representation. And we, and I know that we can do it because we did it with Obama, right? we,
Yes.
we got out to vote,
We
but
got out
even then we didn't vote in the folks that represented our interests for the state and the Senate. We just voted
there.
for Obama. We have to
Mm-hmm.
be smarter voters. We have to be. Now, here's the other thing. You got to understand, he's trying to put a lot of fear into
Mm-hmm.
the brown community so that when it's time for the election, they won't come out and vote. He's
Mm-hmm.
trying to put. You think is the reason? One of the reasons that he has ICE on the scene, and think about it this way: ICE is only on the scene in Democratic uh, uh, states.
Mm-hmm.
He has not sent ICE to any states that were Republican. Why is he
Mm-hmm.
doing that? Because the election is coming and he wants to put fear into the brown community. He wants to put fear so that they won't come out to vote against him. Because what they realize is they voted for him this time and they just used him, he just used them as a pawn. And so
Yeah.
they know now that they voted against their own interests.
Their
But
own
he's
interest.
used so now he's putting fear. So what I'm saying is we have to get out and vote. That's the only way that we can bring some sanity, some healing to our country.
I agree with you. It's a fear tactic as well as it's saying that your vote doesn't matter. As if you're not, it's almost like going back to slavery time. I mean, who are you? You're African American, you're Hispanic, you're, whatever nationality you may be, of whatever heritage or color you may be. He's trying to get us to believe that we don't matter, that our
Right,
voice does not matter. He's trying to silence our voice. And we have to decide as a people that, wait a minute, you're going to hear me. What I have to say is important. This is my country as well. And I went back and I was thinking back to our forefathers on today that really marched and all the things that they have done and that they did, they gave their lives for. And are we just so comfortable now that we feel we don't have to do any of those things? Or some people are like living in a bubble, I think, and they don't believe that this is actually going to affect them. And I keep saying that because it will affect you. Don't kid yourself. I was speaking with someone and they said, okay, it starts all right with ICE and the Hispanic and some of the other nationalities that were there, sending them back to different countries. Okay, and who's next on the list?
right, right,
We
right,
are.
right.
They're just there
Yeah,
for a warning. Okay, and so they want you now when you vote to do it at the voter that you show your ID. Then they want you to send pictures of your ID so they can say, oh, that didn't look like it was a legitimate ID that was photocopied, that was sent with this. Absentee voting, early voting, all those kind of things you mail in, the mail-in vote. And it's just a way to make you feel like your vote and your voice does not count in America. And yes, it does.
it does absolutely. And I think, and this is just again my opinion. Um, I believe that this generation doesn't know how to fight. Right? We're a spoiled generation.
Mhm,
Our parents gave us everything
mhm.
instead of us having to fight for success, fight for a job, fight for a house, fight for, you know, our parents laid the work. They did the fighting so that what they thought was we wouldn't have to fight.
Mhm.
But the devil doesn't take a vacation. The
Say that.
Bible says you cast him out, and guess what? He coming back with more folk,
Mo.
right? And so what happened was our parents spoiled
Mhm.
us, and we didn't fight. We got everything handed to us, and now it's time for our generation and the generation after us
Mhm.
to stand up. And we looking around for Martin Luther King.
Yeah. And Martin is not coming because Martin has served his time and he fought a good fight and he finished his course, and now it's time for us to pick up the mantle. And I do believe in what you stated. If we, this generation, that's us, if we start to step up and really do, and that means all of us, I believe the generation behind us will say, okay, that's how we're supposed to do it, because they've only seen us be middle class or upper class, living where we have two cars, where we have a nice place we live at. We eat out sometimes 2, 3, 4 times a week. Okay. They have all the name brand clothes. They have all the gaming systems. They're going to the best colleges. they're going from us spoiling them to them working, and they're being in some elevated and some really good jobs. And so they're living the good life. Okay. And so they're not really seeing, we're saying we shall overcome together. And they're saying, but I'm not witnessing that, Dad. I know you're talking
Yeah.
about the DEI, Mom. I hear you that they're taking away this and that, but I don't understand that. So
Right.
we have a responsibility to
Yeah.
show them the way. I really
And
believe that.
we gotta be fighters. We have to be fighters, because I want to remind everybody that the only cavalry that's coming to get us is Jesus.
Mm,
Ain't nobody coming to help us. Ain't nobody coming to save us. Ain't nobody coming to fix this. We have to fix it. We have to step up and save ourselves. How does that look? That looks like fighting. That looks like uh, being a step ahead, getting the education, acting with dignity, acting
mhm,
with intelligence, and being able to articulate, being
mhm,
able to to learn the laws and how the laws can help us and how the laws are hurting us. To be able to put our best and our brightest in the positions
mhm,
to support us. And the best and the brightest, you can't leave us. You can't get to your job, your $300,000 job, your $200,000 job, and you forget where you've come from.
mhm,
We have to save ourselves, because at the end of the day, I don't care uh, how much you make, you're still looked at. And my co-host told me don't say the N word, and so I'm not gonna say the N word. But you got
mhm,
folks who are in the boardroom who still are called the N word. You
mhm,
got you got folks in the operating room who are still
mhm,
called N word. You got folks who are on this in the Super Bowl, in
mhm,
the championship, on the tennis arena, and they're all still called the N word. No matter how high you go, you can't get away from being black in America.
mhm.
So we have to save ourselves. And I'll
Okay.
say this, and I'm done. We can go to Black History. I want
Mhm,
I don't want you to say, if you're doing the work, don't put in the comments, well, I'm doing this and you talking down on us. I'm not talking down on you. I am warning us. I'm warning us of what's coming ahead. I'm being prophetic that if we don't get our houses in order, we're going to be in more trouble, because all of our
mhm,
problems don't come from the white community. Some of our problems come from us. And so we are trying to exhort you to righteousness, that we get our house in order, because we got to stop depending on our our descendants. So we are descendants of slavery. They are descendants of slave masters.
mhm.
And so we can't continue to depend on the descendants of
Right.
slave masters to help the descendants of slavery.
Mhm.
I mean, that's ludicrous.
Yeah.
That is mental illness, to
Mhm.
depend on the bloodline that put you in slavery.
Yes.
And so that's the reality to it. We have to fight, step up, and save ourselves. And when I'm talking about saving ourselves, I ain't talking about spiritually. Yes, I believe in John 3:16, Romans 10:9 and 10.
Mhm,
And I believe also who the Son sets
mhm,
free is free indeed. But I also believe that faith without works is dead.
mhm. I agree with you, and the thing is that We have to get moving, each one of us. And we're not just talking to you, we're doers of the things that we're saying to you. And that's the thing that you need to realize. You may hear us here talking and sharing different narratives and conversations with you, but we're actively doing the work that we're sharing with you, saying that we need to get busy to do. We really are in a fight. That's what you need to realize. We're not making this up. We're really in a fight, and you need to get into the fight before it's too late to be in the fight. It takes all of us for us to be able to make a change in the areas that can allow us to be able to continue to support not just the children and the little babies. Think about somebody that don't want to help the babies, but the elderly and the sick and the, like you said, the least and the lost and the left out. That's just so, a person like me, that's very disheartening for me. When I was growing up, song my dad would always sing to me, if I can help somebody, as I travel along, that's a hymn. And then my living,
It's not
it
in
shall
vain.
not be in vain. I don't want my living to
That's
be in vain. I want my children and my children's children, 7 generations, 8 generations, to say, guess up, when no one else would go. Oh, my grandma, she went. My mama went, and she went, and she stood on the battlefield because she believed in what she stood for, the word of God. She believed in the people of God, and she believed in serving her community and her world. We are servant leaders, meaning that we are here to serve each other and to help each other. If they come after me, I'm just going to make it plain talk. And you look like me, they gonna come after you, and you need to realize that the time for action is now. What's the thing that we say? What do we want when you're walking along? We say, "What do you want?"
Justice.
And when
When do
do we
you want
want it?
now?
Now. And that's when we want it, right now. And so, we're not preaching at you. We're
Right.
living this story with you, but it's so important to us. And I thank you so much, Gilbert, for taking me along on this journey with you
Are we in
as
it
we are
together?
sharing with others to
Can
let
I
you
say one thing?
know. Yeah, go ahead.
I don't want to preach doomsday.
Oh, it's
I
not.
do. I do believe it's going to get better.
Yeah, it is.
I believe that in my heart. I
Mm-hmm.
believe without a shadow of a doubt that it's going to get better. I believe that there's hope for this country,
Mm-hmm.
and just maybe that we needed a Donald Trump for us to get to work and to make uh, this wrong or right,
Mm-hmm.
turn this world that's upside down, turn it right side up. And so I believe that there is hope. I believe that we have a generation that is going to lead us. I
Mm-hmm.
believe that we're going to tie ourselves together for the good of mankind. And so we want you to understand that to come on and join the ride with us. It's a beautiful ride. It's love. It's a ride, and we believe that our prayer is like Jesus, that Thou kingdom come.
Mm-hmm.
We believe that Thou kingdom come
Thy kingdom.
on earth
Mm-hmm.
as it is in heaven.
I agree with you. And I want you all to stay tuned as we are moving along. We are going to make sure you can tell them a little bit about what you intend to do on the show, as we're going to have different ones coming in. If you could just share a little of that before we wrap it up
Yeah.
on today.
Yes, we're going to have different folks come on to talk with us about what they're doing. And we're going to bring in the leader of SCLC,
Mhm.
PG County, Josephine Morning, to talk about
Mhm.
economic justice, to talk about finances. We're going to bring in Reverend Christopher Zacharias to talk about
Mhm.
policy and advocacy for the work that we're doing. We want to bring in um, uh, Brother Harold Hunter to talk
Mhm.
about voter registration and mobilization across the country. And then finally, we're going to have a big conversation about the Black family. And we're
Yes.
going to ask a special guest to lead us, and that is uh, Pastor Miller and her husband will come on to talk about the
Amen.
Black family and things that will benefit us. Now, we
Amazing.
want to talk about the Black family in many lights.
Mhm.
We want to talk about the conventional family, but we want to also talk about the unconventional. Uh,
Mhm.
what it looks like
Yes.
to be a blended family, the
Yes.
do's and the don'ts
Mhm.
of a blended family,
Mhm.
uh, because we know that we live in a time now where we're living in the permissive will of God
Yes.
and not always the planned will of God. Amen.
Amen. And so I just thank you for sharing that with everyone. So I want you guys to stay tuned in and focus. The thing that I love about this is that we're not chasing the noise and just what's popular or what's out there. We are trying to examine things that bring substance and that they impact our community. And with Gilbert and Miller, we are determined that we are going to talk it out. So until next time, is there anything you want to say, Miller, before we turn on our music? Because we have a
Yeah,
jingle now.
I want to tell everybody scan me,
Mm-hmm.
scan the QR code where you can join us. You can talk back to us in the chat. You can be live with us, and we thank you for for tuning in. Hit the
Yeah.
music.
All righty.
Hey, hey, turn it up. Huh, 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 hey. If you want a real talk, no holding back from faith to facts. Yeah, we keep it stacked. Laugh a little, think a lot, break it down, connect the dots. Let's go. Time to speak it out. Talking it out. Hey, talking it out. Hey, Gilbert and Miller, we're bringing it out. Real voices, real truth, real vibe. If it matters to you, we taking it live. Talk it out, work it out. Gilbert and Miller, let's talk about it.
Good night.
Good night.